Welcome, welcome, welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about assets over liabilities. This is something that I actually got from somebody else. I started thinking about it, and I'm just speaking from my terms. It's like I remember when I was first getting my good corporate America job and I was making great money, and watching people around me, making six figures is pretty big, or five figures, excuse me, not six figures, but I was making five figures when I was working at corporate America. And then it got to a point where it was six figures because I made 100,000. But I started thinking about it and I started to say, man, where am I putting my money at, right? There was a lot of people when I worked at the plants that were older than me and they were used to telling me, hey, Eric, man, you need to make sure you put your money in a safe spot, make sure you make it grow. And, because they were only talking about like 401ks and pensions and IRAs. And I didn't know. I was only 25 years old working at the plants. But I started to find out, listening to them, they were telling me, hey, Eric, just make sure that you invest your money because they said, you don't want to be broke like me. Now, at the time when I went in, and I'm 25, I was already hanging around people that were 35, 40, and even almost retiring. So I'm really watching the way they move and the way they get their money and what they do with it because that always intrigued me. But all my friends at the plants, everybody had nice cars, they had big old homes, but I started to realize, and they used to tell me, hey, Eric, man, just be careful. You're going to be making great money out here. Be sure you spend your money wisely. And boy, were they right. Boy, were they right. Um, it's just funny when you make more money, you spend more money, right? And I'm a pretty tight guy. I don't really spend a lot of money, but it's natural. But I started to learn pretty quickly that I needed to have my money grow because I didn't, it was scary to me thinking that I'm working at these plants. I have two young kids and my wife. I could not see myself and envision myself staying there for 30 or 40 years. I just could not envision that. That didn't sink in well with me. And so I started to move differently, started to find out what successful people were doing, which owning businesses in real estate. And I started following that path while I was still working at corporate America. Guys, I'm telling you, and ladies, you can do this real estate game. It's not hard, okay? I'm telling you, it's not that difficult. What's difficult is living check to check because I've been there. But I used to take my money and I used to save as much as I could, and then I would deploy it out and go buy investment properties, okay? That's what I used to do. I was holding off on the cars, I was holding off on the fancy clothes, because at the end of the day, I was just wise enough and listening to other people. I just wanted my time back, right? And I'm talking about, I'm going to date myself. I'm talking about 2000, no, 99, 1999, when I started working at these plants. I wanted a better life for myself. Even though I went to school, got my degree, and got the job that I wanted, I just could not envision myself staying there at corporate America for the rest of my life. I don't know how many people agree with me or how you see it, but when you're working at these companies, you're slaving for somebody else. You're building somebody else's dreams when you can be building your own. Some people don't want to take accountability. Sometimes some people don't want to take a chance. But I'm just telling you, at the end of the day, when you look back, for example, I'm 53 right now. When you look back, you're going to turn back and say, man, I regret not taking a chance. And I just tell you, the key is in order to get ahead financially, there's a lot of things you got to do, but one of them is you got to have more assets coming in than you're doing liabilities. All right. So let's say I have a lot of money that the IRS don't know about. How can I use that money to buy real estate? Captain Blackbird, how can you use that money wisely? Well, what you can do is this is what I did. I partnered with other people that had money and credit, and I took the time out to learn the game of real estate. So I had information and I made time to go out there and make this happen. But as far as if you have a lot of money, whatever, just get into real estate. The name of the game is leveraging by using other people's money. Okay, that's the name of the game. I always leverage, but I use as little bit of my money as possible. Okay, so it doesn't, whatever stash you got is one thing, but the point is I'm using very little bit of my money. Okay, I use loans. There are loans out there that are investor friendly that got great terms and great payback, capabilities. and you're not going to go broke over it. Okay, I'm only using other people's money as much as I can. Sometimes I do have to put money into the deal, but that's okay. That doesn't make it a bad deal. But the name of the game is having more assets like real estate than you do liabilities. That's the name of the game. It took me a while to figure this out, guys, and I'm giving you the game here. Buy assets like real estate and have less liabilities. And I started to think about something the other day. I was like this. It was like, think about it. Your bills come in automatically. Why can't you have a system where you have money coming in automatically? You have bills coming in automatically. Why not have a system to where you have income coming in automatically, even when you're working for corporate America? I understand. So just use that money for simple stuff and use other people's money for the real estate. That's exactly what I'm speaking about, Captain Blackbird. I use other people's money, period. And that's the name of the game. Keep that money that you have on the side, and I would say invest it, but invest it wisely. But I would put it in stuff like real estate. Okay. Let me tell you what I do. I'll just give you an example of me. I put my money in real estate, a large portion. But then I do other things too, like I do crypto. Now I'm not here to speak big on crypto because I don't know it very well, and I don't know it comfortably enough to teach you guys. But I'm just saying I do have a small percentage of it. So I want to diversify myself, and that is the key. But I put a large portion of my money in real estate. Real estate isn't going anywhere because people need a place to live. People need people need three things in life: food, clothing, and shelter. It's never going to go anywhere. Food, clothing, and shelter. So when you got something like real estate, like I have 17 single family houses and two apartment complexes. It's not going anywhere. I could feel it, I can touch it, I drive by, I see it. Crypto, you can't really do that, and it's based on speculation. So you got to think about that. I don't care what happens. My money comes in automatically because I partner with the government. And I'm gonna leave a link down in my description. And I have a simple thing like an ebook, guys, to help you out and guide you through this process. All right. Let me come back answer some questions. So what? I should network and create presentations for investments. Captain Black, this is what I did. The first thing I did was I started going out there and getting into free investment groups. Free investment groups. And I'm going to give you an example of how to do that. Cash, so, okay. I don't want the book. Okay, you don't have to. You don't. I'm not. I'm just saying. I do have a book. You might not want it, but there might be other people. Tell me what city and state you're in. All right, anybody. Tell me what city and state that you're in, if you will, please. So that way I could really. I'm just going to flip my screen around to help people out. Are y'all enjoying this? But flip your. I mean, tell me what city and state you're in, so I could show you what I'm talking about. All right. Uh, Amsterdam. Well, okay, you're in Amsterdam. Ugh, I thought you was in United States. Okay, so let me give you an example. Say that you was in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, say that you're in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm just giving an example. All right, I'm going to show you something. But all you have to do is join some free investment real estate groups near you. All right. Yeah, well, yeah, you you have buildings too. You do. I got you. But let me give you an example of what I'm talking about. Watch this. Again, like I said, I just picked Atlanta. Oh, I put Atlanta, Dallas, Atlanta, Georgia. All right, watch this. I'm going to show y'all something. So I go to Google. Okay, I go to Google. I'm going to flip my screen around. I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. I go to Google. Okay, and what I do is this. I go to Google, I put in REI groups in Atlanta, Georgia. Okay, REI groups in Atlanta, Georgia. All it's going to do, and REI stands for real estate investment. Okay, here's one of the top ones in Atlanta. Okay, the point is you could look these up, and what I would do is this. Usually, these investment groups have something called a 30-day or like a 30-day free workshop, introductory workshop. It's usually about 30 days. All you have to do is go in there and start networking with people. All right. All you got to do is go in there and start networking with people for free. It doesn't cost you any money. Get contact information. See what they do. Tell them what you are. Tell them that you're a real estate investor. Tell them that you do, like me, I would go in there and tell them I do the buy and hold strategy. I'm teaching people the game of real estate, or I want to buy real estate. You're going to have wholesalers in there. You're going to have realtors in there. You're going to have lenders in there. You have everybody at your disposal right there. And you could just ask them, start networking. This is exactly what I did for 30 days. I was hustling, going out there. This is how I was able to build my team because we have a lot of real estate investment nowadays. You could do this stuff online, so it's very easy to build a team like that. Okay. uh, so anyway, yeah, so there you go. There is some information for those that are really serious, but I just show you, man, you can be able to come out here and do this real estate game. But the key is, as I stated earlier, you gotta, if you're trying to get past your financial situation and trying to get to that next level, I just tell people, man, get more assets than you do liabilities. It's really like that. Like I shied away from the fancy cars and I wasn't trying to get the big expensive homes. All I was trying to do was buy more because I want my assets to pay me. I have cash flow coming in every single month from all 17 single family houses and then my apartments. And it beats my liabilities, all my expenses. That's what I'm talking about when I say liabilities. All right. How hard is it to sell a house without a real estate agent? It's not hard at all. Most people just lack information. Okay. You said, I understand everything you said. Okay, good, great. Pure hate is like being your own lawyer. Okay. Yeah. So anyway, I'm just showing you what works for me, guys. You know, it's your choice what you want to do. But yeah. Back to the question about the lawyer or the selling your own property. It's good to have an agent, in my opinion, because you have that professional in your back pocket, that expert, and plus they can be able to help you sell your properties a lot faster than you could, I would imagine. So, any other questions, though, guys? Any other questions? Great questions. Very good questions. But I like coming out here. And, guys, when I talk about real estate, I'm speaking in terms of the buy and hold strategy. So, my whole technique is I buy properties anywhere from that need small rehab to large rehabs. I get these things done and then I rent them out to Section 8. That's been my bread and butter. I started out in 2000 and I haven't looked back. I love the idea of getting paid every single month. And I just each year I was always adding to my real estate portfolio. In 2008 I had as many as 35 single family houses while I was still working at corporate America. I'm not flexing, I'm not bragging. That's not the point here. I'm just showing you the capabilities that you can do. If you have it up here in your mindset, guys, I'm telling you, you can do this. Okay. This is not far fetched. It's just far fetched because you're only capable of doing what you're able to imagine and think. And that's the truth. Reading a book right now called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Very great book. But a lot of this stuff is really a mindset thing, and a lot of people have to learn how to shift that. It's not about the sheetrock, electrical, and plumbing work. I'm telling you, it's about shifting your mindset. And when you get this here and you get this down, and you understand that you can do anything that you want to do, you just got to have a desire or a strong enough why. Focus on it, and you can make that happen. Speak it with affirmation and focus and really make it happen and set a plan for it. Don't even worry about, here's the other thing too. Don't even worry about the how. Like my goal was I wanted to get um, 15 single family houses. Okay. I didn't think about the how. I didn't think about the down payment. I didn't think about the interest rate. I didn't care about none of that. All I was thinking was I want to get all these houses. Just think that everything else will fall in line, believe it or not. um, what's the biggest pain about being in your line of work? It's a good question. The biggest pain. The biggest pain about being in my line of work. Sometimes, it's not all the time, but sometimes I do pucker up when there's storms. I do pucker up when we have storms. Like I'm on the Gulf Coast and I think about these storms, but I do pucker up, like I said. But at the same time, what's good about real estate is if something were to happen, I have insurance. I have insurance. And I'm going to give you a perfect example because I just had a tree fall, a tree branch fall on a portion of my rental property. And the best part about that was, it's not the best part, but I didn't want that to happen. But my tenant called me and said, look, the tree branch fell on the roof and it actually fell through the roof and inside the house. Insurance took care of it. See, that's the difference between that and crypto. You lose your crypto, that's it. You can't go get your crypto back. Um, so you buy properties to rent out to people who are on Section 8 because you love the guaranteed money. Okay, well, thank you very much, Gucci, but it won't stop. Don't worry about that. People have been hating on me since I started the game of real estate, so I'm used to it. But God bless you, though. So yeah, basically what I do is I buy real estate, and I like getting them rehab, and I rent them out to Section 8. I started out in 2000, and I haven't stopped yet, and neither has Section 8. That's the beautiful thing about it. Sometimes you just have haters in here, and I love them because I just give them love back. All right, so does anybody have any questions? Real estate can work for you guys. It's just a matter of tuning in and just focusing and having a strong enough why. My why was when I started out was I just didn't. I wanted to be able to take care of my family. That's the main thing. It wasn't about the expensive cars. It wasn't about any jewelry. It wasn't about buying mansions. I just wanted to replace my time back, and I got to do it. Now, it wasn't overnight. It took me time because I didn't have anybody to follow. There wasn't a whole bunch of these gurus out here like there are now, but I was able to do it. So, yeah, don't think that you can't do it. I always tell people, man, if you have the right mindset, I guarantee you this can be accomplished. But you have to have the right mindset. And I'll give you two good books to read. Can I do that before I leave here tonight? I want to share with you a couple of books that I highly recommend you read. I'm in the middle of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill, a very great book, very good read that everybody should read. That should want to be the books that instead of what a Juliet, and Romeo and Juliet, since they told us to read that, that was one of the big books back then. We should have been reading that stuff. We should be reading stuff that's going to be exponentially important by the time we get out of school and hit the real world. But Think and Grow Rich is one that we should read because it's about your mindset and getting it right. And then another one I recommend is Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki, another great book. So if you want to know what types of books you should read, I think those are two great books. Perfect books to read. All right. So we're done with that, guys. For those that enjoyed that, hopefully you enjoyed it. But the key was just teaching you about real estate and helping you get ahead financially because I was in your situation where I was broke, unhappy. Some people in here are extremely unhappy. I can tell by the comments, but God bless you. But you can get over it. But I'm just telling you, once you have your vision, you can accomplish anything. All right. God bless you. Stay safe.